Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn. I did some videos a while back on my top 10 favorite albums of every year in the 1970s. And now, as I've been listening to some 80s music, it's time for me to do the same for the 1980s. Today's video is my top 10 favorite albums of 1980. Before I jump into the proper top 10, I'm going to give a handful of honorable mentions here. First honorable mention goes to British Steel by Judas Priest. This is heavy metal, their sixth album, and features the hits Breaking the Law and Living After Midnight. Second honorable mention goes to Iron Maiden and their self-titled album. This is also a heavy metal album, their debut album, and it's before Bruce Dickinson joined the band. My favorite tracks on here are Phantom of the Opera, Charlotte the Harlot, Running Free, and Iron Maiden. And I'll give two more quick honorable mentions. One is for QE2 by Mike Oldfield. This is progressive rock, his sixth album. It contains both original music plus two covers, Arrival by ABBA and Wonderful Land by The Shadows. It's not as good as his first four albums, but I do feel like it's slightly better than his fifth album, Platinum. And the last honorable mention, I'm going to give a quick honorable mention to Synthesizer by Ryo Okamoto. Another progressive rock album, and Ryo Okamoto is known for his work in Spock's Beard that came much later than 1980, but he made some solo albums way back in the 80s that I checked out, and I actually thought this one was pretty cool, so I thought I'd give it a quick honorable mention here. Now into the proper top 10. Number 10 is Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. This, at the time, would have been considered heavy metal. Now, probably more so we'd call it hard rock because it's not quite as heavy as today's heavy metal. It's his debut solo album. It features the great Randy Rhoads on guitar. The whole first side of this album by Ozzy Osbourne is great, with I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance, D, and Suicide Solution. Side 2 starts strong with Mr. Crowley, but then it kind of tapers off a bit for me. It doesn't end as strong as it starts, but still a great album, Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. Number 9, I have Song of Seven by John Anderson. This is progressive rock. It's the second solo album by this Yes lead singer. The first one where John Anderson used a band instead of playing all the instruments himself, I believe. My favorite album by him is still his debut solo album where he played everything himself. But this one is almost as good as that. It loses a little bit of the charm of someone doing everything themselves, I think. Number 8 is what I'm at. Audio Visions by Kansas. This is progressive rock, kind of leaning more towards their arena rock sound. It's not as progressive as some of their stuff that came before. It's the 7th album by Kansas. Not my favorite by them or anything, but just still an excellent album. They're an excellent band. So check out Audio Visions by Kansas. Now, number 7 is The Turn of a Friendly Card by the Alan Parsons Project. This is progressive rock, the 5th album by this British band. It's a concept album focused on the gambling industry and the fate of gamblers. It's melodic, it's accessible, it has some new wave influences. It's pretty easy to listen to, even for non-prog fans. The last song on the album, the title track of the album, is a 16-minute epic. So check out The Turn of a Friendly Card by the Alan Parsons Project if that sounds cool to you. Number 6 is Duke by Genesis. This is progressive pop rock. It's their 10th album. Cool progressive stuff, catchy pop stuff on here, and really nice blend of their earlier and later style. Check out the song Turn It On Again for an idea of what this album sounds like. That's a great song that manages to be both catchy and pop, but also uses odd time signatures and progressive rock vibes in it. At number 5, I have Departure by Journey. This is more of a straightforward rock album. It's their 6th album. It features the big hit Any Way You Want It, which is undeniably catchy and anthemic, and everyone just would want to sing along when they hear it. Number 4 is another one by Journey. It's Dream After Dream. This is more progressive rock. It's a lesser known Journey album, but it's actually my favorite by them. because it's got the more progressive rock musical style that their earlier albums had, but then it also has the strong vocals of Steve Perry, who I think is the strongest vocalist they've had. And he wasn't featured on their earlier, more progressive albums. So this is kind of the one really more progressive album that has Steve Perry on vocals. That's what makes it my favorite. This is a soundtrack to a Japanese fantasy film, which I won't attempt to pronounce. It would be Journey's seventh album if you count it as a studio album. I know some people don't, since it's a soundtrack to a film. My favorite track on Dream After Dream by Journey is the opening track, Destiny. The closing track, Little Girl, is also great. This is also the last album to feature founding member Greg Rowley, and I think he contributed a lot to the band and like the stuff that he did. And number 3 of 1980 is The Game by Queen. This is a rock album. It's their 8th album. Features some hits like Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Save Me, Play the Game, Another One Bites the Dust, and Need Your Lovin' Tonight. All great songs. Even the deeper cuts on here are great. Check out The Game by Queen. Number 2, I have Drama by Yes. This is progressive rock. It's their 10th album, their only album with Trevor Horn on vocals. He gained fame in 1979 as a member of the Buggles, who achieved a hit single with Video Killed the Radio Star. It's a surprising combination to hear Trevor Horn and Jeff Downes from the Buggles join Yes, but it really works really well. My favorite track on here is Into the Lens. I think this is an underrated gem of an album in Yes's catalog. So check out Drama by Yes. Then my number 1 album of 1980 is Permanent Waves by Rush. This is progressive rock. It's their 7th album. This is where they shifted their sound towards shorter, more radio-friendly songs while still maintaining their progressive influence. The Spirit of Radio is an awesome album opener with that great opening guitar riff. Every other song on the album is also top-notch. That's it for my top 10 albums of 1980. I hope you enjoyed this list. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what your favorite albums of 1980 are down in the comments below. I want to know if I've missed any great ones that I should check out, and your comments are greatly appreciated. Stay tuned for my next video in this series, which will be on 1981, of course, and I'll try to keep a reasonable pace of this. Hopefully I can finish this whole series within the month, and you'll know my favorite albums every year. And at the end, I'm hoping to give my top 25 albums of the entire decade all in one video as well. Stay tuned for all that, and until next time, peace out.